Are you wondering what the right price for your house is now that you're ready to sell it? Stay tuned to the end of the video and I will tell you exactly who is responsible for pricing your house. Let's get into it. How do you arrive at the right price for your house? You may have a price in your mind already. Maybe you've gone online and you've gotten the advice of Zillow. Well, I'm here to tell you that Zillow has never been in your home and they do not know how to price your house. They might give you a good ballpark number, but it's probably not going to be the one that your realtor tells you. I personally have two ways of arriving at a price for your property. The first way is super analytical and it involves a spreadsheet, which I find to be disgusting. I hate spreadsheets, but I'm a businesswoman and I have to do what I have to do. This spreadsheet helps me crunch the numbers and do the math. The math that I'm talking about is using what's called the common level ratio. In Pennsylvania, every year they put these numbers out and it is a multiplier number that goes per county. The premise behind it is you take your tax assessed value and you multiply it by this multiplier that the state puts out every year. And that is supposed to give you a relatively good market value. And it does kind of work. However, part of this magical spreadsheet is it helps me find your pocket common level ratio. If we're using Dauphin County, for example, we have some super rural areas and we also have the city of Harrisburg. Those two areas are most likely not going to have the same common level ratio when it comes right down to it. So we start by taking properties that are right near your house, regardless of whether they are, sorry, it's a little windy. Regardless of whether they're comps or not, we just want to find out what this multiplier is for houses in your direct area. The second half of the spreadsheet involves using actual comps. So if you live, just say, in a ranch house, a one-level house, 3-bedroom, no garage, we're going to do our best to compare your house to only other houses that meet that same criteria. So this spreadsheet takes all these numbers and they crunch them down for me and it spits out a number. And I have to say probably, 49 times out of 50, it's pretty accurate. So that's the analytical way. And then there's the subjective way. I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to use my noodle and my realtor vibes and juju and figure out what I'm feeling with the market. I am going to look at the comps. I'm going to see really what are they selling for? What did they start at? What was their listing price? What did they actually sell for? I'm going to crunch all of that down, the subjective way and the analytical way, and arrive at a number for you. We also need to talk about your motivation. You pretty much can only have one of two motivators. It's either going to be price or time. A lot of people feel like they're motivated by both, and I understand that. But let me explain to you what I'm talking about. With this example of a house that your realtor is saying is worth more like $350 and you think it's worth more than $450, you might say to me, I really need to get $450. And I'm going to say, okay, I understand that. But you then in turn need to understand that it's probably going to take a lot longer to find a buyer who's willing to pay $450 for your house. So time can't be your motivation, it's price. If time is your motivator, if you're like, listen, I'm done with this house, I don't want to live here anymore, I want to get out, then it's extra important to price your house properly. Your house will sell quicker if you price it properly. Another thing to consider when you're pricing your house is what upgrades have you made? I know a lot of sellers, when I'm asking them about what upgrades they've made or, things they've done to the house, they tell me, oh, we just put a new roof on and we just put a new furnace in and we put new windows in the house. And I say, fantastic, that's wonderful. That is definitely going to help your house sell faster. It's not necessarily going to help it sell for more though, because every house needs a roof, every house needs windows, every house needs a furnace. You are simply taking care of maintenance items if you are doing those types of things. The types of things that are going to increase your value: finished basement, a stellar kitchen, phenomenal bathrooms, things like that. When you do upgrades to those places in your property, that is how you're going to get more money. Another super important thing that I feel like sometimes people neglect is curb appeal. You have to snag that buyer right away. You have to get their interest. If your house looks really, really good from the street and in that first photo on the MLS, you're going to get a ton more interest. Okay, so here's the secret that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. The person who really sets the price for your house is the buyer. Pricing your house is much more of an art than it is a science. You don't know what your house is going to sell for until a buyer tells you what they are willing to pay for it. If you've priced your house too high and you've gotten several offers and they are all significantly lower than your list price, then you know you missed the mark, and you know that that's what your house is actually worth to the people at that time. If they see progressive price deductions and they see the days on market adding up, they not only might think there's something wrong with your house, but they also probably think they're going to be able to get a heck of a deal. So whether you're ready to sell your house in 6 days or 6 months, reach out to me. I can help you assess all of this information, and we can try to arrive collectively at a price for your house. Bye, guys.